people don't know about this. As good as everything was going and what I thought we were making money, I realized that I had created a $2 million deficit in my life. And that was all because of lack of. A lot of people told me to file bankruptcy. I made the decision.
How do you stay ahead of those trends for everything that's going on? Scoping is completely different than it was 15 years ago.
I'm going to answer that question in this way. I invested over $1 million into. We have all the technology in-house now. So to answer your question, that's how you stay ahead.
What's up, everybody? This is Ryan Van Ornum, and this is Scaling Up Success Podcast. I have Diego Lujan on today with Alpha Leap Plumbing, one of my good friends here in Colorado Springs. And Diego, how you been, man?
Man, I've been great. Every day that I get to wake up alive on this earth is another chance to continue to get better, and grow. So with that being said, every day, another chance. I'm doing great, man. How are you doing, Ryan? It's good to see you.
Man, dude, I know we've gone through some stuff together. We've been through the ups and downs. I've been through some health issues and stuff like that, but I'm feeling blessed, dude. Feeling good about where things are going. So, yeah.
This year, man, I don't think people understand how great of a year 2025 is going to be. It's wise for the business community, and not only that, but for America, man. And with that being said, dude, I'm just really excited, and I'm really have the fire going in me, and I'm ready to go, man.
Well, I'm so excited to hear about where you're going with stuff, but to know where you're going kind of gives a little bit of a understanding of where you've been. So tell the people, yeah, what inspired you to get into this business, where you've been in the last, where you came from, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So as Ryan introduced me, Diego Lujan, emphasis on the Lujan. No, okay. But man, I always credit me getting into plumbing with my upbringing. I come from a trades family. I knew I didn't want to do roofing. I knew I didn't want to do general construction and concrete. It's funny because we do a lot of concrete now, but and I knew I didn't want to go to college, right? So I chose the next best thing to me, and that was plumbing. I believe that plumbing changed my life, and plumbing gave me the opportunity to grow up and become a man, but also gave a sense of direction of if I go this path, this is what the outcome is gonna be. Or if I choose this path, of living on the streets, acting up as we do as knuckleheads as kids, it's gonna give me this outcome. So I chose to pursue plumbing, and I credit everything to this trades, and I'm an advocate for the trades. And anybody that's ever thinking about getting in the trades, I will always give them the pros and cons. So that's where I come from, man. As far as a blue collar type of family, hardworking, that's where I come from. And it just, this trade has been everything that is great in my life. Started the business in 2015 as a young tradesman. And the last 9 years, we're going into our 10th year of business. Believe it or not, it just seems like time has flown.
Wow.
And there's been so much trials and tribulations and hard lessons and learn as you go. And finally, I just got to a point where I just had enough of learning the hard way, so to speak.
Right. So, and I love what you have behind you with your vision, your mission, your core values. You are very defined in the way that you run your business. There's clarity to it. And that's
Yep.
something I've always respected in you. I started about a year behind you in the business in the real estate side of stuff, but with what you do, when did you know you were going to succeed? When did you know hey, I can do this?
The minute I knew I was going to succeed is every time that I had a setback, every time that I had a failure, I didn't say, why me? I always said, what is this lesson, or what is this setback, or what is this failure trying to teach me? And the minute that I realized that I never have any quit or give up in me is the minute that I already knew that I'm going to be ultra successful someday. But more importantly than just me, that I'm able to create opportunities for others within my organization to be successful, And just the no quit, man, just the perseverance, the grit, because business is hard, life is hard, but it's only as hard as you make it, right? So
Right.
that's when I knew, man.
What one thing that I have always respected about you is like, one way or another in any part of the business that you run, it always came back to you. You know what I'm saying? It's like that to me defines leadership. Like,
Right.
okay, if somebody, I mean, you specifically asked me a couple times on, hey, you're a business owner. Can you, when you talk to my staff members, can you give me
Yeah.
feedback on how they're doing things? Because I
Yeah.
need to help them grow. It's not that they're either getting better or getting worse on their own. I need to help them establish, these core values of what we're trying to put forth for our company. What when did that kind of click for you?
I'll tell you like this, man. In 2020, a lot of people don't know about this. So I'm about to put my business out there, right? But because I made it through this difficult situation in my life, I think that it's important to share with the community and other business owners because it's the reality of life, right? So in 2021, as good as everything was going and we were making money, what I thought we were making money, at the end of the 2021 year, like in the middle of the year, I realized that I had created a $2 million deficit in my life, right? And that was all because of lack of financial education, lack of experience. So when a lot of people told me to file bankruptcy, I made the decision to lay in the bed that I made and figure my way out of this hole, right? So I'm going to get to that. But what I'm going to tell you is that in those moments of 2021 up until now, I've spent the last 4 years, 3 years of my life paying off people that I owed money to, such as suppliers, vendors, credit cards. I chose to have a conversation with them and be honest and say, look, man, I'm a young businessman. I got myself in a sticky situation, but I will pay you your money back. Where a lot of people would have filed bankruptcy, I chose not to. And
Respect.
I'm glad to say that I was able to pay off that $2 million of debt and ultimately have an understanding of what it's going to take to actually run a real successful business. So back to your question, and I dug myself out of debt. I I I was traveling the United States doing work in almost all 50 states for Walmart, and then also did some couple projects across the United States. And within the last year, I have came back home and I started to build out. Okay, Diego, the first go around in business did not work for Alpha Elite. We still delivered an amazing customer experience, but it can always be better, right? So I basically tore the house down, chipped the foundation up, and I said, and I got to work. You should have seen, man. I was in here in January of last year like a mad scientist, right? Remember, the mission, the vision, the core values was up here.
Right.
It was never on paper for anybody else to see. So I got started. I read a book by Tommy Mello. He owns a $250 million a year garage business in Arizona, right? I think he has like 39 locations across the United States. And I read a book called
Wow.
Elevate. And that's what you see here is out.
Hmm.
And the 5 pillars to build a business where everybody wins, because that's what I'm choosing to do, is leadership, culture, marketing, recruiting, and systems. So I went to work number one with my leadership. Okay. I designed my vision, my mission, my core values. I put it on paper, and I reassessed my business. And I said, "Hey, I want to build a business where everybody wins." And that's the moment that I understood what it is I need to do. And then the rest is we just been working on systems, processes, marketing, recruiting, leadership, built out a training facility within the city of Colorado Springs. And this year is our year to really introduce ourselves back to the city of Colorado Springs and let them know that we're here. So
That is absolutely phenomenal, man. And I love, and here's the other thing that I know you speak very highly of too. I love seeing people like a comeback story and people that just like they just continue to go through and day by day, that grit, that determination, you
they grow through
personify
it.
it. You
They grow.
personify it.
I like to say, let's grow through it, not go through it, you know?
Right, right. And I mean, your positivity, your grit, your determination, it's inspiring.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
That's what the lion symbolizes, man. You know, it. The reason why the lion is the way it is because it's looking back to pull others up with them, you know. And that's
Mm-hmm.
essentially what I'm doing here is I'm creating opportunities to serve our clients and our community by bringing others up with me, you know. And like the business Alpha Elite 2.0 is what I'm calling it. It's a completely different business from the original Alpha Elite. I truly believe that I had to go through that very hard time, very difficult time in my life to understand what it is I need to do as a leader within my industry to elevate. And we are elevating currently. So,
Well, and I know we talk probably, I don't know, six to 10 times a year, you know,
yeah,
and I just love being able to pick your brain and being able to hear about, like, whether it's good or bad. Like, I love being able to share that with people because so many people in business can't share with others, you know, for whatever reason. And
right.
and I love that you have that openness, that you're willing to share that with you know, our friendship, you know, and others around as well, because, you know, whether you see it or not, people are growing from your story.
Right. I keep this statistic in my head and I usually have it right here, so I might get this wrong. I want to give you some information for the viewers, right? It's a percentage, man. And when you look at this every day and you realize like there's more to this business thing, then you'll have a better understanding of like what it actually takes, right? So 97% of small to mid-sized businesses in the United States will go out of business by the 10th year.
Wow.
97% of businesses will go out of business by the 10th year. So with that, it's like, wait a minute here. We're on our 10th year. We finally understand how to run a business, how to do everything the right way with the financials, the marketing, the sales, the recruitment, the taking care of people. I can honestly say in the 10th year of Alpha Elite, which we're going into, we have finally built a business that truly believes that any individual that works with us will win. Any client we do business with will win. And ultimately the company wins. When they win, we win. So it's crazy when that you look at that statistic, that's that stat, you know.
Absolutely. So as it happens right now, I mean, most people don't think about it this way, but man, there's been so many changes in plumbing over the last, like, you know, 10, 15, 20 years with like the different piping and stuff like that. What how do you stay ahead of those trends for everything that's going on? I mean, scoping is completely different than it was 15 years ago.
So I'm going to answer that question in this way. I invested over $1 million into sewer rehabilitation equipment.
Wow.
So people might say sewer rehabilitation, what the heck is that? So we have all the technology in-house now to be able to avoid excavation and do trenchless sewer repair. So to answer your question, that's how you stay ahead is by investing in your company and ultimately providing a service that not every plumbing company can provide because the buy-in into the product, into the tools, into the technology is so expensive, right? So one of our specialties of what we've been working on for the last year and a half is something called CIPP lining,
Hmm.
epoxy lining. A lot of people know about that, and a lot of people don't know about it, right? So for the people that don't know about it, essentially what it is we clean out the old cast iron, we clean out the old clay pipes, and we shoot an epoxy liner. It's a sleeve that basically goes into the pipe. You fill it with air, and we're able to stick a UV cure machine down there. It's called the Blue Light with Hammerhead Trenchless, and literally, we can do that job in a day and essentially restore somebody's sewer line in one day we believe in the product so much we give a lifetime warranty, Ryan. And
Wow, that is a game changer, bro.
game changer, and that's how we stay ahead of the curve. And not only that, we do it for Walmart across the United States. So we are tried and tested and true, and we've been doing it in the community of Colorado Springs since March of last year. Um,
Wow.
and a lot of people don't know that we do that, but that's how we're scaling that curve is by investing in the technologies that it takes to help customers solve their issues without excavating up their entire yard or having them spend thousands upon thousands of dollars to just replace their sewer line. We still
Right.
do that. We'll replace the sewer line with an excavation, but we just now have the technology to avoid that solution, you know?
I've seen escalation of excavation to
Yeah.
trench just explode in the last 5 years. Like
Right.
before COVID, I was seeing, $3,000 to $8,000, and now it's, $15,000 to $30,000,
Yeah.
for that service. It's incredible. So like having a service that you may be able to put a sleeve down there, that's incredible.
Yeah. So, and I've been meaning to reach out to you and talk to you about it, but it's been
It's all
crazy
good. It's
leading a
all
team.
good, man.
But we are educating the community that, we have this technology, we have invested in our people, we have invested in the technology, and to better yet, we provide free camera inspections for our community as well.
Oh,
So
that's really cool too. That's fantastic.
yeah, that's part of something that's part of us giving back to the community, is saying, hey, we don't want to charge you an arm and a leg to come put a camera down your line. Let us look at the sewer and assess it. And if you want to report, then we can talk numbers, right? But at least, have a peace of mind. And that goes back into what I also brought into our community this year, Ryan, is our peace of mind guarantee, right? Now everybody says peace of mind. What does that mean? Well, it means you can assure that the price that Alpha Elite gives you is the price that you're going to pay when we're done. There's no hidden costs, right?
Right.
We are transparent with pricing. Also, if there's any issues, we'll go above and beyond to fix it at no additional cost. We just want to make sure the job done is right and that the customer is happy. And if we can't resolve it with that, we're so confident in what we do and our ability, Ryan, that we'll give you your money back, because at the end of the day, we care about your happiness and not just the money, man. So, all
Man, that's
right,
what's
man,
up, dude.
I just get excited
I
about this.
love feeling the passion from you, bro. That's awesome.
I'm just
Um,
excited, man.
no, that's great. So as you progress through your career as a business owner here, do you what type of like social environment has impacted your business more? Like, have you seen the social climate change your business at all?
So I'm gonna always stand firm with networking, right? Like building relationships.
Yeah.
So the social aspect, not only was I gone from the Colorado Springs community, which I didn't do a lot of networking here, right? But I was networking in every city, every state that you can think of across the United States. So I can almost go to any city, Ryan, and call up another business owner and say, "Hey, I'm in town. Let's grab dinner. Let's grab lunch. How you doing? Let me come look at your facility." Because I spent the last years doing that social, right? Being social and networking across the United States. So with that being said, man, it has really set us up for great success on that end. But now I'm back in the Colorado Springs market, and I'm looking forward to networking with everybody that I used to.
And I will say for you, man, you've never been a person to like just like you take massive action. And whether, you know, you've been a person like if you make a mistake, you pivot very quickly. And that massive action is really I've seen it your business grow because of it. So
Well,
props to you on that.
I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, Ryan.
Likewise, likewise. If you have any advice, because I mean you're going on a decade in the industry now. If you have any advice for someone starting that entrepreneurial journey, what would it be?
The number one advice that I would give them is, before you even make that leap into starting your own business, educate yourself first. I was a hard head young tradesman and didn't know anything about business, right? So I compare it to, if you're a new plumbing apprentice coming into the trades, you have to spend 4 years learning the trade before you can even get a journeyman's license, right? Well, I compare that's how business is. When you start a business, I don't care if you went to college for it and got the education, it's going to be hard, but it's still an apprenticeship. But
Right.
the people who go to college for business versus the person who didn't is going to be that much ahead, because they have an understanding of how financials work, P&L statement, balance sheet. Are we winning? Are we losing? Data tracking, like tracking is huge, right? So
Absolutely.
the advice I would get is, find the money to pay a mentor within your line of business to educate you before you even decide to make the leap into business, right? Don't learn the hard way like I did. It's good. It is good. And you will learn the hard way in certain areas, but understand what business is before you even think about getting in business.
Hey, even Michael Jordan had a coach, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's my problem is I was a hard head and I just wanted to learn the hard way. And I will honestly say moving forward in my life, there are mentors, there are people you can pay, there are organizations you can pay to come in and train. And that's one big thing that is the difference between Alpha Elite and Alpha Elite 2.0 is I've invested thousands of dollars, if not millions, into training and education for myself and as well as for all of our leadership team here and our employees, you know.
Man,
So,
that is absolutely legit, dude. And man, this thing has just flown by. I just appreciate your time so much, and we could talk for hours and hours, and
sure, brother.
never have a dull moment. But let for the audience, let's give a shout out to you. How can they get a hold of you? How can they find you on social media? How can they find you on the internet? Where they can get your services, bro?
So our biggest thing is all about promote, 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 promote. So you're going to see a lot more podcasts and a lot more social media of us. But as it stands today, the best way to get a hold of us is at alphaeliteplumbing.com. And I'm on IG as Diego underscore Lujan underscore AEP or Alpha Elite Plumbing on Facebook and Instagram as well. So those are our biggest platforms, but we are putting together a content schedule and we are going to be doing podcasts like you and just really promoting what it is we do because we have a lot to say and not enough time to say it.
Absolutely. Diego, it's always a pleasure talking to you, man. Thank you for being on the Scaling Up Success podcast, my friend.
Beautiful, brother. Thanks for having me, man. We appreciate it.
Absolutely enjoy. Have a great one.